First look pretty much looks the same apart from the nice LED headlamp. Bird. Hello, Yezdi. So this is what I'm talking about. Like Yezdi, all components are blacked out. Only your main body parts are having different color components. It looks really awesome, and I kind of like the design of their engine cases. It kind of reminds of the bike my grandpa used to have, like, back in the days when I was like 10-year-old or something. So gives that nostalgia, at least for me. I don't know about others, but yeah, this bike looks nice. So let's go in and see what else Yezdi is going to offer. Alright, I'm now at Yezdi showroom at Banshankari and I'm looking at the Yezdi Scrambler here. That's the fire orange color and it looks dope with that nice brushed aluminum texture on the exhaust muffler. On the other hand, the Outlaw Olive looks incredible. It has the blacked out color on the exhaust and it looks crazy. I'm going to take test ride on both Yezdi Adventure and Scrambler, and here you can see the yellow color. Looking at all these three colors on video, all of them looks very rich, but in person the olive color looks nicer, and I mean, I like it better because it's different. The orange color is kind of better, but the yellow color does not look as vibrant as it looks on the video, and only the yellow bike and the orange gets this brushed aluminum look on the exhaust muffler, and the Outlaw you gets the blacked out version, and yep. Alright, it's pretty low on the idling. Or maybe, I don't know. It's somewhere sitting around 2000 RPM, but still feels little choked up. The clutch is okay, not the lightest that I have ridden. And here we go. In the first gear, around 4000 RPM, this bike kind of asks you to shift up, but engine wise it's kind of really responsive. And yep, this tank pad is kind of feeling a little weird on the thigh when I try to grab it, but with the riding gear it will be a good thing. It will protect your paint from scraping off if you have this pads. Unfortunately, there is no mirror on this bike, makes it hard to see who's coming behind you, but that's okay for me. I mean, I'm used to riding on various kind of bikes. So 2000 to 5000 rpm, that's a sweet spot where you can hear bike revving up and singing like a bird. Yeah, around 6000 rpm this bike feels lot alive. The handling feels nice. I mean, it's flickable, and yep, even in third gear it can keep a nice pace. So why I like Yezdi over Royal Enfield is one is this suspension. It's kind of hard tuned. Some people don't like it, where I love it because it makes it very easy to jump over the speed breakers like this without having to struggle. And same is true for your potholes. So if you have a bad road, no road kind of a situation, this bike feels well planted on the road because the suspensions are pretty sick on this. And why I like Yezdi over Royal Enfield is because of this 6th gear, which I'm not able to use right now because of the traffic. But I have ridden the Scrambler before. I'll do one thing, I'll take a U-turn here. Second gear around 50, 30. Alright. I like the sound of this horn. So here I like that, and I like the kind of power it generates. It's not very perky, it's kind of mellow, it's kind of what you say, linear. But being on a single cylinder engine with a linear torque is not a big issue because you will get that torque pumping in much early and fast. The front brakes are not that sharp. I find it kind of mushy. The rear brake and front brake combo is recommended on this bike, but I kind of like the seats. They are nice, cushy. The bike tends to look light because of how slim the bodywork is, but trust me, the bike is quite heavy. I noticed it today when I was trying to get it out of the parking space at the Yezdi showroom. But when you are standing out and riding this bike, you don't have to crouch down. I'm 5'10" and I pretty much don't need to bend over, so the stance wise it's good. So if I have to take this anywhere off-road, I don't have to worry about standing out and worry about my posture or how easy I can ride off-road, because on this bike it's quite easy, and shifting while standing is also quite easy. So yep, that's nice. So now I'll have to check how the adventure feels like when you're riding like an adventure tourer, because as a Scrambler, oh, I love this bike. It has enough torque and horsepower to pull you really well. Now a little bit of issue which I face is with the braking. The brakes are not that sharp and feels mushy at times. especially when you're trying to stop immediately. So that's one thing. So I'll park it here. So the advisor or the showroom salesperson, he said the Scrambler comes in 6 colors. I showed you 3 colors earlier. This is the 4th color, which is red. They have kind of same combination with blue, and other one I think it was gray or something, I forgot, but they do have 6 colors, and I like those 3 which I saw earlier. This one is good, but it kind of gives you like a modern-y look instead of the retro feel on the color. So, but they are nice looking colors, to be honest. I wish this charging port was somewhere else, maybe placed down or something. It looks kind of odd or misplaced at this section, in this section, but yeah, it's okay. They maybe kind of use that cylinder head to have a similar position, so I don't know what they were thinking when they placed this, or at least they should have had something smaller or compact. I don't know, but overall I like this bike. Apart from the brakes, I think it's a very good bike to have. I don't know if they have any accessories, for luggage on this bike. I'll have to check with them, but if not for those accessories, I think this bike is pretty good looking and feels very nice. So that's your cat box. In case if you're thinking like you would want to decat them and put a straight up silencer, that would be a spot to go for. You could lose at least like 5-6 kilo from underneath your engine. And if you decide to decat, you can also remove the muffler from one of the sides, so that's a doable thing. If you ask me, I would definitely do that. Get a straight up pipe, maybe place the muffler a little higher. Since this is a removable item on this, what do you call this, footrest is removable, I think it's going to be quite easy. If you are a solo rider and you want to take this bike off-road, you can have that high mount exhaust on this bike. But overall, I do like this bike. I kind of have love affinity on this bike. Maybe if you have option to replace better what do you call, the brake pads on this, it would help. At least the lights on this are LED or not, I don't know, I couldn't tell. Let's put the lights on and see. Yep, it's a LED one. Alright, next up will be adventure, so let's go and give the keys back for this bike, and I'll be back soon. Alright, compared to the Scrambler, the adventure is tuned to kind of idle at 2000 rpm, a little bit closer to 2000 rpm, and it does not bog at the very least. I kind of like the stance on this bike. It's a little bit taller compared to the Scrambler, and engine is almost same, I could say. The feel on the engine is same, but I think the suspension feels a little different for this. I don't know, maybe because of the added weight on the front with this crash guard that runs over your tank and across your body. If you are looking at this crack, or you think that the unit is shaky because one of the customer who came for the test ride kind of dropped the bike and broke the bracket on this. So if you are to ignore that thing, I think the windscreen is nicely covering up to my chest area, so whatever wind that comes, it's going to go at least over my head. The brakes on this bike feels a little better than the Scrambler. Could be because this is just a test ride bike, and test ride bikes are not well maintained all the time. And if this is how the brakes behave on both the bikes, then my complaint on the Scrambler doesn't make much sense. So that's that. Alright, there's a deviation here, so I'll take a U-turn. Turning on these bikes are kind of good. Oh, the standing posture is much better, or quite same on this. I thought this have a little much taller handlebar, but it doesn't. I can shift quite comfortably while standing on this bike. It has nice sufficient torque to chug along at higher RPM or higher gear on a lower RPM. I'm cruising in 4th gear, so at a speed of 30-40 kilometers, and it feels okay. The seats are much plushier on the Scrambler than on the Adventure. These are a little hard. I mean, it's not a complaining point, but they could have used similar material. I don't know why they don't do that. Even I found the same on Royal Enfield. The Scrambler Scram had little stiffer cushion than the Himalayan. This is in reverse, so Scrambler had much softer seat and this one has little hard. Okay, I mean, that's not a deal breaker or anything. You can always customize with some more padded foams on the stock seat. So one thing which I feel awkward is these tank grips, especially when I'm not riding on my riding gears. These kind of pricky or uncomfortable on your thighs, especially when you try to grab your tank. Apart from that, this bike feels really nice, and if it has the similar kind of torque or the grunt in the engine like Scrambler, and it does, but the exhaust note are quite different on Adventure and Scram, or the Scrambler. Sorry, I don't know why I keep saying Scram and Scrambler differently for Royal Enfield. I keep calling it Scrambler for Royal Enfield and Scram for this. Either way, apart from that tongue slip, I think these bikes are quite good. And that's Parag standing next to me. The new Hunter from Royal Enfield. However, the bike I am interested in is this Himalayan.